So everyone's getting really bullish out there right now. And I just feel the impulse to like rain on that parade a little bit, reel it in. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm as big a fan of these 40% pumps as the next guy. The more green dildos, the better. That's what I always say. But I just want people to see that we are sitting under the 26-week moving average, like directly under it, which is pretty severe resistance usually. And if you go back to 2021 when we initially had that dump in the summer, we are still currently in a major downtrend on the RSI ever since then. Even when Bitcoin had that really big dead cat bounce, reached all-time highs, it still just faced severe resistance at that RSI level, got completely rejected, and led into this dump. So I just don't want people to make that same mistake, get overconfident because of like a recency bias. So I just want to give some context for like where the markets are at. If you look at ETH, it's the exact same story. It's sitting under its 26-week moving average, which will be resistance, and the RSI downtrend still is there. And if it goes up anymore, it's going to probably face resistance there. Now, it can break through, but I would just be waiting for that to happen before I like got super convinced of like, any major bullish action coming up. Now, take a look at the tether dominance chart here. Now, if you go all the way back to 2020, before this bull run, like this is what this is representing. And this is kind of a confusing chart at first, but really what it's representing is just what percentage of the overall crypto market is Tether. And this is correlated. The reason this matters is because as people sell Bitcoin and ETH, they're getting Tether. So as the Tether dominance goes up, that generally is inversely correlated with the price of Bitcoin and ETH. Now, as you can see here, it basically faces some severe resistance around the 5% level. It has a triple top essentially. So that's kind of what led to this pump in a way, is that we were sitting at that really close to that 5% level and it did get rejected, and it's heading back down towards its moving average around 3.7%. But it should likely face some support there. And also, if you look at the RSI, the same deal. It's very likely going to face some. It's bounced off of this point in the RSI 3 times, so it could do it again, and that would look like a correction for Bitcoin for ETH, a dip, if you will. So I just don't want people to make the same mistake, get too overconfident. If you felt like you were too risky, now would be a good time to like offload a little bit of that risk. I'm not making a prediction one way or the other. I think it's really like a 50-50 ball game here. But there can just tend to be that feeling of like, oh, well, if we're up 30, 40%, 50% even, then we must be bull market. But crypto is so crazy that that's not even necessarily true. So I'll give one thing here that is really macro bullish in my view to close it out, since I've given, I think, some fair bearish context here, is that if you go all the way back to the previous bull cycle, this is the Bitcoin dominance chart, and it shows the same thing as a tether, like how much of the overall crypto market is Bitcoin. Now, when this chart is going up, that's actually bearish for crypto, because what's happening is people are moving away from the ends of the risk curve and getting rid of like the other cryptos and only like having Bitcoin essentially is the simplified version of that, because Bitcoin is the safest. So when you see its dominance going up, that's actually usually the price is going down. So we want to see this going down if we want the crypto markets to go up. And it is looking good along those fronts. Now we have essentially at this 39%, 40% level, there's this like floor of support here for the Bitcoin dominance chart. And you can see it didn't even really make it all the way back up to this trend line before it starts to consolidate. So that's a good sign. And if we see it go all the way down here and break through this floor, then, I mean, we're talking really, really bullish action, like clear skies, totally new bull run. Now, there's just no guarantee that's going to happen, though. It could just as easily break above this trend line, and then we're looking pretty nasty, too. But so far, so good with that, and this is a chart that I think people should also be looking to get like good macro context. So anyway, this was just a quick update. Just wanted to maybe throw a dose of reality, because there's going to be a bunch of YouTube cryptos that are saying, now's a chance to buy, and that might be the case. But it also might be the chance to, offload some risk. So not financial advice, just advice about what to do with your finances.